Good day, Michael here. So today is phase 2 of my experimentation with lead. Tried the copper yesterday and it failed. Here it is here. So I didn't do a good job on that and blunted very quickly. So have to come back to that, the copper idea. Christian, you reckon that's harder than normal copper? I'm going to investigate that too to see if they do come in different hardness and why they would. So I'll investigate that, but for now I'm going to pursue the lead and see how we go today. So I'm going to test my Kizer Baby, which I've had inconsistent results on this edge, and I'm still dubious about it. I like the knife, I love the design of it. I'm just dubious on this heat treatment with the CM154. I've had my issues with it, so I'll see how that one goes today on the lead. And I've resharpened this one. It's not perfect. I did this on the jig, so it's okay for testing purposes. It's not perfect though. I seem to get a better result actually now on my stones than what I do on the jig, but good enough for the test today. So both of them are shaving sharp. Yep, easily shaving sharp. And let's get into it. So got the softer KHU, run that again. So yesterday I got 15 cuts and decided to stop. Probably should have kept going, but I stopped and we didn't complete it. So today I'm going to try and complete it with my 2 kilogram weight, which gives me my cutting force on the lead. Sinker, I'm going to rotate it to the smooth side. Yesterday I tried doing the same cut, but that's almost impossible, so I might try in different areas slightly. The good thing about lead though, at the end of it, you can just file that back and you've got a smooth surface. So that's a good thing. Righto, so here we go with I'll do 10 cuts and then we'll check it. There's 10 cuts, and I tried making a different track on each cut because they're quite fine cuts on 2 kilogram weight. So let's do a check on that edge. I can possibly see a couple of little nicks. I don't think I've sharpened it quite as good as yesterday. Oh yeah, we're feeling a few jags actually this time, and I can see where it's folded over a bit. Well, this is a better result today with this knife anyway. And that's just a couple of little jags, especially through that section. So I can definitely feel a couple of jags there. You can see the jags along the edge of the paper. So really, I'd probably call that, you know, today on 10 cuts with those jags. We're going to go another 5 and see what it does, because we're only experimenting at the moment. And I think the 2 kilogram weight on this lead, that it might be okay. Let's do another 5. And it's along the whole edge, of course, which makes it better for testing. Instead of trying to do a small section of the rope, we can do the whole edge, which is good. Still 15, it really hasn't changed that much from before, really. It was just those initial bits. Could almost be a burr rolling over. And that's the other thing with testing this too, I might add, is if you've missed a slight burr, and I did my best to try and get rid of it, then it's not actually the apex rolling over, it's part of the burr giving you those hiccups. Now it's definitely got a hiccup there, so we'll just stop that for now. And I want to see how the baby performs. This is the big question, you know. Tell ya, I've been happy and not happy with this knife. Love using it. I'm doubtful about the steel. So we shall see. By the way, when I was sharpening this knife before, I put it into the jig and it's quite thick. And as I was trying to put it into the jig, it went all the way through and kind of stabbed my finger a bit. So luckily, I don't know if you can see it, luckily it was blunt from yesterday. Otherwise that could have been quite bad. Righto, here we go, Mr. Baby, 2 kilograms. This one I've got to follow the shape of it a lot better, because it's a lot more curvy. So I've got to allow for that curve. Righto, that's 10. Let's have a look at the edge. Yeah, and I can see some glinting. And I think I might have to actually send this to Kizer, because it shouldn't be glinting. If this is truly like 60 HRC, Yeah, and where that was glinting, look at that, it's hanging up the same. That's why I actually get from the road of your testing. I might just loosen it off without cutting into it. Yeah, so you can definitely see where it's bent over. So is that a retention issue or is that a toughness issue? This is the problem, because what we really want to do is test edge retention, but what I'm getting here is glinting and rolling over of the edge, and I can clearly see it right there on that mark. Two little spots. So with the scraping on the piece of wood and effectively testing the lateral strength of the blade, is it really doing the same thing? It's just testing how strong that blade is. Is this on the lead, even though it's cutting in there, is it really testing the edge retention? This is the question. Because that glinting and the hang up on the paper, I think, is from it not being tough enough. Even though it's still slicing, you can clearly see in here where that glint is, and really it's still sharp everywhere else. Will it shave? Yep. Still shaving sharp along that edge. Running out of hair. But it's shaving sharp. So the retention's still there, it's just that rollover of steel. And so, is that a toughness thing? Is it edge retention? The two are really linked, aren't they? I mean, if you're getting rolled over steel, you're not going to have that edge retention. It's going to be blunt in that area. So, can't have one without the other, unfortunately. Let's keep it the same, though, as the other knife. And we shall do 5 more cuts. At least it is a proper cut, unlike the copper, which just seems to go across the surface. I've got to keep count here. I'm talking, I'm not thinking about the cut. I forget the count. It's 3, I think. And 5. Tell you what, if that broke and dropped on my foot, I'd know about it. That would hurt. So it's the same number of cuts now, 15 for each knife. And it's really still quite sharp, except for a couple of those hiccups. And I can't see any more, but just those 2 there. So still quite sharp. So what do we do? What I might do now, no, I'll keep going, you know, we've got to keep this going until I think it is seriously blunt from cutting. I'm going to keep going with my cuts to see if I can actually get a really blunt edge. The copper killed it. So if it goes in a different cut, doesn't matter now. Number 5, that's 20. It's got hiccups, but it's still relatively sharp, so it doesn't seem to be dulling the edge that much past where those hiccups are. And it's bent the steel. What I do like about this test is it's the same cut now, regardless, because different people can get different number of cuts, even with the same rope. Doing it this way, it's the same cut every time. And pure lead should be pure lead. And the same hardness, but I'd have to check that because maybe they do come in different hardness. I don't know. What if they are different? You know what, just to finish this off, because I think this could just keep going and going, and it's just eventually going to roll the edge over. Let's see, that's 20, I think. One. You may get to that point where it just goes bang, suddenly blunt. So 25. It's got those big jags. And it's still shaving sharp. After 25 cuts. Keep going, go 30. Oh, that wasn't a good cut. Take your time to get that force. That's 30. And it's still sharp, but just with the jags. Let's do a comparison now with the rope. problem with the rope, looking at it, you are really putting pressure on one localized area. And if you bring it back this way a little, even a little bit, it's helping that one area. It's not really putting pressure on the whole area. But you know what? I reckon it's that 10 cuts and it's made it duller, more dull. So I don't know. You see it's tearing now. And it's no longer shaving, so the rope seems to be more abrasive on the edge than what the lead is, which is a pity. But what I'll do now is just try this one a little bit more on the sinker and see what happens. I think I've got 10 or 15 on this. I'll have to check when I watch the video. Now I've forgotten. I'll say it's 10. 15. So I'll do another 10 to get it to 25. Right, so I think that's 25 cuts. And yeah, except for those couple of hiccups, it's still feeling quite sharp. And it really is just shaving hairs still. And I'll do the same with I'll do 10 rope cuts and we'll see if it's still shaving. After 10, that's 10. And straight away it's really tearing badly now. And I can see the edges. Yep. And will it shave? definitely the rope has taken off shaving performance. Shaves up there, but not there where I was cutting the rope. So my conclusion for today is that the rope is more abrasive against the edge than what the lead is. Which is surprising. I thought the lead could be definitely the go. I like the fact that it's the whole edge along it, but it just doesn't seem to be dolling it fast enough as at the moment. So there you have it for today. We will continue on to try and find the best way of testing edge retention. Bye for now.